Union have been desperate for a keystone that never really arrived. Weary, depleted and drained in recent weeks. Many questions lie ahead for this franchise. It's meeting all time between these two teams. Julião eager to play his part this evening. 22 MLS starts for him this season since arriving on loan from Fluminense in Brazil. We talked about the keystone that the Union had been lacking all year. For Sporting KC though, a much brighter outlook. The playoffs confirmed for a fourth consecutive year, but now it's all about seeding. It's MLS live on SKC TV and KMCI 38 The Spot. Sporting KC on the road to Philadelphia Union. Callum Williams alongside Jake Yardrich for your commentary, and Carter Augustine keeping us up to date on pitch side. The Union 9-11-12, 5-3-8 at home. Sporting 14-11-7, 8-7-1 on the road. Jake Yardrich, what are you looking for early on here?
Well, one of the things I'm really looking forward to watching is the matchup of the outside backs for both teams. Two teams in Major League Soccer that really stress those fullbacks getting forward. Setsanovic on the left for Sporting, Igor Julião on the right. And then they're combined on the opposite sides with Shannon Williams going up against Setsanovic up Philly's right-hand side and Raymond Gaddis up Philly's left. When those two, either of those two get forward for either side, will everyone else recover space in case of that turnover and that quick counter for the opposition? It's going to be a fun battle to watch between those four players.
No win in 5 in Major League Soccer for Philadelphia Union. Their last win at PPL Park came on September 3rd against Toronto FC. Here's Maidana. Williams stepping away from Soony Saad. Maurice Edu. Good signal during the week. He does hope to stay in Major League Soccer. The dream move to Europe didn't really work out for him after he signed for Stoke City. Had tremendous success with Rangers in the Scottish Premier League, but not so much in the English Premier League. Brown. Colin evading. Valdez. Igor Julião. A bundle of energy as always. Colin. And the line he goes. And it's an easy pickup for Zach McMath. It's been a strange season for Zach McMath as well, Jake. He was, I'm sure, told at the start of the season he's the #1. Then Andre Blake was drafted wearing #1. And then Reece Mboli, the Algerian national team goalkeeper, was signed.
Well, and it wasn't just that they drafted Andre Blake. They traded up in the draft to get him at #1 overall. So, you know, the writing was on the wall for Zach McMath. And as soon as they signed Mboli coming off the World Cup, he has to be wondering what's going on. But, you know, the talent is there. It's just it hasn't all come together in one package. We've seen him be phenomenal at shot stopping. His reaction times are great, but sometimes his positioning and his decision making is poor. It's just been a really up and down career for Zach McMath. But say this is his last season with the Philadelphia Union, someone's going to pick him up because of all the experience and the potential that is there.
The shorts of suit as well. Here's Eric Kronberg, another goalkeeper who's been given a tremendous opportunity this year. 7 shutouts and 18 MLS appearances for Eric Kronberg this year. Saad glancing on. Valdez expertly back to McMath. Edu under pressure from Soony, from Salzizo, I beg your pardon.
Soony Zizo.
Here's Soony Saad. Straight away the referee blowing the whistle for Sporting Kansas City. Saad, the man taken down.
When you see here trying to get up, his touch isn't exactly heavy. It's a little in front of him, so Williams comes in to make that play, but it's that extension of the right arm. You see the arm goes up a little bit, extends out, pushing him to the ground. Jair Marufo blowing the whistle. Sporting Kansas City getting their first set piece opportunity.
Third Harbour standing over the ball as well. 6 assists and 30 MLS appearances this season. Can he add to that number here? Again, there's plenty of options for Sporting KC. Third Harbour. Short ball, easily dealt with by Philadelphia Union and Andrew Wenger. Nogueira combining well with Maidana. Sanovic compiling the pressure for Sporting KC. Nogueira. Taking the challenge of Saad, but not Olam. Shannon Williams back in the side after an absence of 2 games. Saad. Carlos Valdez coming across. Harbour inside for Nagamura, who finds Dom Dwyer here. First opportunity, Dwyer drives it! And it's straight across the face of goal. Wide of McMahon's left-hand post, who was rooted to the spot.
And this is also a great example of what Paulo Nagamura brings to this team with his experience. He makes that run out of the midfield and sees the gap of space right at the top of the 18. The ball coming in, quick one touch to Dom Dwyer. It's a sharp angle. If he maybe slides that one across the top of the 6, he had Sal Zizzo streaking in, and we're probably looking 1-0. But at the same time, with the way Dom Dwyer has been playing this season, you can't fault the guy for having a go at goal in that instance. Didn't miss it by that much.
Brown, as we said earlier on, of course, his first goal against Sporting KC in Major League Soccer. Here's Dwyer, looking to add to his tally of 21. Julião. Ellis. The challenge of Brown. Williams with a cushioned header. Well, Papa John's shut out for slices 2 days after each game where Sporting KC record a shutout. Receive 50% off your online order. Enter promo code SportingKC at papajohns.com. Madonna quickly charged down by Feilhaber. Brown on the move. He's battling with Kevin Ellis. That'll be a tussle to watch all evening. Kronberg. Guerra just guiding the ball away from Feilhaber in midfield. Valdez unable to keep the ball in play. It's a throw-in to Sporting KC on this near side. The Union winning just 3 of their last 8 home games in Major League Soccer. They claimed 4 points from 2 games at Sporting Park earlier this year, as we said in the pre-game show. Valdez clearing appropriately. Ellis. And Colin together for the 5th time this season. And centre-back, that is. This time they've put together that centre-back since August 29th. They have some work to do here. Andrew Wenger closing in. Managed to get the cross in, and now it's Cruz. Maidana. To the edge, Nogueira finds a gap. Christian Maidana here. Maidana's through! And he fires wide. Kronberg's right-hand post. Lovely build-up play from Philadelphia. Just unable to capitalise at the vital moment.
Well, and capitalizing is something Philadelphia's done great against Sporting Kansas City in this season. And the turnover in your own half is what starts it. Igor Julião trying the long ball over the top, instead almost kicking it directly into Andrew Wenger. He's on the break, and all of a sudden they got numbers inside the 18. And as you said, Cal, great teamwork play. A lot of one-touch passing in there. Maidana's shot very similar to what we saw with Dom Dwyer a few minutes ago and pushing away.
Julião stopped in his tracks. The linesman on the far side. Christian Maidana, of course, scoring his first goal in Major League Soccer against Sporting KC back in May.
And that game was that game was just crazy for him. He had a goal and an assist. And I think he only got a red card in that game, if I remember correctly. I mean, that's the triple threat right there.
Shake of the hand there from Peter Bermudez and Carlos Valdez. Shane Williams. Nolan intervening, and Cruz continuing the play here for Philadelphia. Wenger. Hugo. They do, evading the persistence of Dom Dwyer. Here come the Union again here, full of energy in these early stages. Gaddis on the far side. Stopped in his tracks by the combination of Juliao and Colin. Zizou intercepting here for Kansas City. Second touch lets him down, and Carlos Valdez will easily intercept. Maidana in a wide position again. The ball played in, Kevin Ellis and Seth Zanovic tidying up for Sporting. Andrew Wenger now this time. The ball fizzed in, and an orthodox but effective clearance from Aurelian Collin. Nogueira. Dom Dwyer winning the tussle. It's now Souni Saad here. Dwyer making surges ahead of him. Maurice Edu with a really good challenge. Souni Saad continuing on as well. Another frantic start to this game. Now it's Wenger again. Options ahead of him. Wenger against Juliao. He cuts inside. Wenger drives it! And he hits the wrong side of the netting. Really energetic start from both sides.
And you see Andrew Wenger sets him up, and as soon as he takes that cut inside, he's already got Juliao beat. You can see it right there. Juliao had leaned right. Wenger cuts it back, but you have to expect that. If he pushes it past him to Igor Juliao's right, he's going towards the touchline, and that's fine because you got that cross will be coming in. You have Aurelian Collin, Kevin Ellis that can go up and win that out. Instead, he lets him cut back inside, and he's able to get a solid shot on that.
There's Kevin Ellis. 19th appearance of the season for him in MLS. Now it's Dwyer. Maidana. Now forward away from Saad. Hugo. Gaddis involved again. Vincent Nogueira. With a little heel, hoping for something. Kevin Ellis tidying up for Sporting KC. It'll be Gaddis on the far side to take it for Philadelphia. Never the consistent man this season, started all 33 MLS games this season. Nagamura. Burst of energy from him, and down the right he goes for Zizou. Manages to find a way past Maurice Edu. Zizou twisting and turning, just unable to find a way past Raymond Gaddis. Now Lawrence Olum. Feilhaber away from Nogueira. Continues to pester. Zizou. Nogueira getting himself in a spot of bother. The Union failing to clear their lines. Feilhaber. Dom Dwyer inside, looking for Nagamura, and eventually it's scrambled away. Not far enough though. Here's Igor Juliao, looking for the head of Souni Saad, who he finds. There's far too much underneath it, and he goes behind for a goal kick.
Rather odd sequence of events that ends up with the shot off the header for Souni Saad for Sporting Kansas City, but just we've seen some from both sides, Cal, really in these first quarter hour. No real sustained possession. We've seen some awkward clearances for both sides, and eventually that's going to come back to hurt you. In that instance right there, Vincent Nogueira tries to keep the ball, instead of just clearing the ball out of the danger area, keeps it at his feet, ends up in a quick turnover, and Sporting Kansas City are able to get a shot, albeit not one that really tested Zach McMahon.
Here's Sherman Williams. Options ahead of him. A lovely curling ball in. To the edge it goes. Cruz! Palmed away by Kronberg. And we get another chance here. Danny Cruz! Straight down the throat again of Eric Kronberg. And a real sign of early intent from Danny Cruz.
Well, Danny Cruz definitely that knack for being the hard worker, that kind of bulldog out there on the field for the Philadelphia Union. doesn't get a lot of credit for his ability to shoot the ball from distance. I think it was last season against Seattle Sounders, had 2 goals from almost that exact same spot in one game. You see Eric Kronberg catching or making 2 saves, but 2 solidly hit balls from Danny Cruz early on in this game.
Cruz already finding the net against Sporting KC this season. There's a Kugo. Maidana stopped in his tracks by Kevin Ellis. There's Maidana, the Argentine DP. Nakamura with a timely intervention. Pearl Harbor, delicate ball over the top here for Dom Dwyer, who's onside. Dwyer around McMath, it's a tight angle, and he's unable to find the back of the net. Tremendous build-up play though from Sporting Kansas City. Dom Dwyer not too far away from 22. Here's Sinovic. Zizou. Solon. Intercepted by Brown, and perhaps now the Union have themselves a breakaway. Maidana, head of Colin getting in the way. Sansanovic repelling for Kansas City. Minimal work there by Lawrence Solon. Nagamura patiently awaiting the run of Dwyer. Headed an intervention.
Good play by Valdez. If he doesn't get ahead on that ball, Dom Dwyer's off one-on-one with Zach McMath. And we're probably looking at 1-0 Sporting KC.
Called in favour of Philadelphia. Here's that earlier opportunity there for Dom Dwyer.
Just seemed as though Philadelphia got a little too preoccupied as Sal Zizou made that run in a few seconds before that, as they were worried about checking that run and almost just forgot Dom Dwyer. Great job picking that out, placing the ball over the top.
I beg your pardon, taken there by Philadelphia, but now Sporting KC with some real defensive work to do. Deep in their own half. The Union have themselves a throw. We've seen Shannon Williams do this for several years. Execute a long throw here. The bodies have piled forward for Philadelphia. You can sense a real opportunity from this.
The matchup to watch here, Cal, is going to be Maurice Adu and Aurelian Collin. That's going to be the one to watch on the defensive end all night long for Sporting.
Williams. So out of bounds in the area. Fair Harbour calmly clearing away and finding a really good ball for Igor Juliao as well. Juliao trying to play a ball forward for Dom Dwyer. Valdez intervening though. Brown. The decibels rising here at PPL Park. As Brown stopped by Aurelian Collin. Again, it's another throwing opportunity here for Philadelphia. Okugo. Now Valdez. A little forward, and he does well to find Nagamura. Dwyer and Saad ahead of him. Suni Saad here for Sporting Kansas City. Cutting outside away from his man, and now he goes down. The referee takes a long look at it and opts to give absolutely nothing. Here's Saad. Running well with Nagamura, who returns the favour for Suni Saad. First time ball across for H. Dwyer, and Andrew Wenger more than happy to concede a corner.
Now Sporting Kansas City finally getting a feel for the game out there, slowing the tempo down. That first 10 minutes, Cal, you said it was frantic. That's absolutely what it was. You had up and down soccer, but that's not what Sporting Kansas City was. That's a perfect example of when Sporting Kansas City slows the pace, controls possession, sequences together 4, 5, 6 passes in a row to catch the defense out of position. It frees up that space for Sumisat to go in there and make that cross. Andrew Wenger, good job tracking all the way back from his wide left position, putting that one out of bounds.
Benny Feilhaber here for Sporting KC. And he conjure up. Swinging ball, finds the head of Colin. And it lances well wide of the intended target.
Now Colin falling backwards before even going up and meeting that ball. All his momentum almost taking him completely away from the goal. It didn't have to have been perfect to get anything past Zach McMath. He got up and won it, at least. That's a positive.
Missing the last 3 games due to that ankle injury. So he felt good to Carlton Augustin in the pre-game, didn't he? There he is again, a powerful header away from Brown.
Like how you mentioned it in the pre-game show, Brown getting his first start for the Philadelphia Union, and he's going to really, if he can perform well, he will have proven himself, I think, because you're going up against Aurelian Collin, who is one of the strongest defenders in the air in Major League Soccer as it stands right now.
He may get a chance to use that aerial presence in an attacking sense now, because Sporting KC have a corner.
And this is one of the great aspects of getting Aurelian Collin back healthy. We know how great he is defensively in terms of winning the ball in the air, consistently in the top 3 or 5 headed clearances year in and year out. But set pieces on offense, he's one of the more dangerous players, not just for Sporting Kansas City, but MLS, as we saw in MLS Cup last year.
The referee will be walking over to Benny Feilhaber here and the word in his ear telling him to put the ball into the corner.
Jair Marufo, the eyes of a hawk.
Just a little uncertain for him. Feilhaber, to the back post he goes. Ellis, back across. Vandes dispatching for Philadelphia, and perhaps themselves now with a chance. Cruz, around Igor Julião. It's a poor pass from Cruz. Setsanovic, even just half an inch to prod it away from Andrew Wenger. Here's Wenger. Maidana. Lovely ball here for Williams. Chance for Philadelphia. And the ball drilled in. The corner here for the Union. A frantic start to this one. The Union and their players looking to prove a point, perhaps. Sporting Kansas City is looking for some solidity here. Maidana with 9 assists this campaign. To the back post he goes. It's only a free header for Maurice Edu. And Kronberg with a good grasp from the air.
Kronberg very imposing when he goes up to win the ball. Very good job of bringing that down, Cal. You said almost a free header. Good job coming off his line and bringing that down.
US Bank is proud to support Sporting Kansas City. US Bank, all of us serving you, member FDIC. Hugo unable to find a way past Feilhaber. Cruz forced to retreat to the safety shell of Zach McMath. Five shutouts in 27 MLS starts for Zach McMath this season. Started every single game last year for the Union. Ellis with a commanding header away. Sporting, of course, coming off the back of their first home MLS win since August 16th. First home MLS shutout as well since May 4th. 4 of their last 7 road games in Major League Soccer, the last coming on September 12th away at Chivas USA. They have some defensive work to do here, though. Danny Cruz around Ellis. A chance here for Danny Cruz, skipping away from Colin as well. Maidana floating a ball in, unable to find Nogueira. Sporting KC clear their lines professionally.
Great job from Benny Feilhaber. As soon as that break happened, Benny Feilhaber making a straight sprint all the way to the penalty area and having his eye on Maidana or Nogueira that entire time, making sure he had the proper position when that cross came in.
Zolan picking up the pieces and threading a ball through for Zizou. Nagamura. Feilhaber. So next passing lane cut off. Sporting forced to retreat for the time being. Julião. Ahead of him is Sal Zizou. Perhaps an opportunity here for Kansas City. Zizou. And Lawrence Olam. First time ball from Nagamura. He'll get a second chance here. Pala Nagamura drives it. Charged down well by Gaddis. Colin getting there ahead of Brown, but the Union in possession. The Union will put the ball out of play. Brown, the man who was taken down by Aurelian Colin. And it is if you'll screen, a subway yellow card for this challenge from Aurelian Colin.
And you see there, Brown gets to the ball, gets that touch back. Aurelian Colin just a little late. Doesn't scissor through him. It wasn't anything overly malicious, but still a little late, taking him down from behind. Marufo pulling out the yellow card. Now Aurelian Colin, in his first game back, has to be very careful. 65 minutes plus in this matchup on a yellow card.
No short of a yellow card is Aurelian Colin.
You're just perpetuating a bad stereotype that Aurelian Colin. Okay, Aurelian Colin does get yellow.
Good defensive work to do, as he does there as well, away from Brown. And again, Colin. Nogueira takes a tumble. Free kick to Philadelphia Union. Confirmation of that subway yellow card for Aurelian Colin. Maidana. Nogueira with some space. Cruz. He takes a tumble, and again the referee says no. And they're battling with Valdez. And it's a throw-in to Kansas City. It'll be a battle to watch all evening, won't it? Dwyer against Valdez. Here's Colin. Zizou. Sporting claiming 25 of their 49 points away from home this campaign. They'll be hoping to add to that this evening. Here's Suni Saad. The touch from Maurice Adu was vital. Nagamura helping it on as well, and Zach Mamath had to be sure of himself there. From Dwyer offering the arm apologetically. It is a free kick to the Union.
And I'm also glad to see Marufo just kind of come in there and not really decide to have a conversation with either of the players there. Zach McMath has no right to that ball. His defender lets it bounce. Dom Dwyer has just as much reason to go after and a chance to win that ball. McMath gets there first. Both players take a tumble. Marufo just going in and say, hey, it is a foul, but he lets him go. I think that's a good job from Marufo.
Suni Saad active once again here. Setsanovic for Sporting KC. Floated ball in, looking for the head of Nagamura. They do away. And now it falls for Lawrence Olam here. Charged down superbly by Mobio Kugo. And now Wenger off to the races here for Philadelphia Union. Andrew Wenger, inside he goes. It's Christian Maidana, and it's a really good save from Erik Kronberg. Lovely build-up play, and an equally good save.
It's a fantastic save as Brown made that initial run to occupy the Sporting KC defense, allowing Maidana to come in there. And that's a great touch. And he really has to fire that one quick, because as soon as he turns to face goal, Eric Kronberg is already 3 or 4 yards outside of his 6. Maybe he just split-second reaction, just get a foot on it, try to get it by, but that big body of Eric Kronberg is able to smother it and stop what should have been, I think, a 1-0 lead for the Philadelphia Union.
Feilhaber going down under a challenge from Gaddis. No reward comes Sporting's way, though. Feilhaber continuing to battle on. To no avail. Maidana, who's been an early pest for Sporting KC. Here's again. For Philadelphia Union, much to the annoyance of Igor Julião. Kronberg forward. Over the top here. Kronberg has come committed. He's forced to clear the ball away from Brown. Shane Williams will come forward here for the Union once again. And it was this chance earlier on that really sparked the interest. Maidana forcing Kronberg into a really good save. Williams down after a collision with Setsanovic. Another free kick in favour of Philadelphia Union.
And Benny Feilhaber immediately going to Marufo, asking why that wasn't called on the opposite side when Sporting Kansas City had the ball. You see Shannon Williams takes that touch, going to try to go around him. Setsanovic impeding the run, puts him on the ground. It is a foul, but it did just happen a few moments ago on the other side of the field. No multi-ball. Yeah, thought they would let it go this time.
So more defensive work to do for Sporting Kansas City. Maidana, lovely floated ball in, and it's a stern punch away from Kronberg. Dwyer battling with Cruz, the Union back in possession. Delicate ball over the top. And it's now into the grasp of Eric Kronberg.
And if Kronberg picks up that ball as soon as it's near him, he picks up and does a quick punt. He had Sal Zizzo all by himself on the left side of the field.
Let's go down to our Ivy Fund sideline reporter. Carter Augustine is with the manager, Peter Vermees.
Peter, opening 30 minutes, how do you think Sporting's doing so far?
Well, I mean, I think there's been some good actions as going forward. I think a few times we've been a little bit disorganized, just a little bit in certain situations. But when we move the ball like we are right now, like this is where we got to be. We got to move the ball quickly with this team.
Sure, and you talked about maybe a little bit of disorganization, but Kronberg coming up big a few times. How good is that to see?
Yeah, no, it was a great ball that he saved there with the one-on-one. It was a big-time save, so it's good. It's good for everybody.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay.
Carter, thank you very much. Cruz advancing forward here for Philadelphia. Nogueira, lovely ball in. Brown with the header. To the back post he goes. Igor Julião glancing it on. Wenger keeping the play alive. And Aurelian Collin repelling for Sporting again. So far, Jake Yardrich, the Philadelphia Union, it's all looking like a team out of contention for the postseason.
No, and building off of what Peter said right there, when Sporting Kansas City during that interview had the ball and they're moving it around, that's the game they like to play. Philadelphia Union have been very dangerous in this first half. They get the ball and go. They have the athletes, they have the speed, and that they can take advantage of almost any space that the back four is leaving for Sporting Kansas City. Just their crosses haven't been crisp. They haven't really made solid connections on any type of shot. They had to come up. Eric Kronberg has had to come up huge one time, and thankfully he has done that. That's what Philadelphia can do. They get the ball, they turn, they run.
Speaking of turning and running, here comes Sporting KC. It's a good turn in the centre of midfield there from Dom Dwyer. And again, it comes to no avail.
So there you go, Cal. The ball's over and already, 4 or 5 seconds. So they're already 40 yards away from goal. That's what Philly likes to do.
Maidana. Space for Wenger on that left-hand side. Andrew Wenger taking on Igor Julião. He was happy to concede the corner there with the outstretched challenge. Well, Coors Light is a proud partner of Sporting Kansas City. Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. Eric Kronberg giving out instructions to his defensive players in front of him. Maidana. And swinger this one to the front post. Nagamura glancing away. There's Nogueira. Ball swept through. Edu is onside. Chance for Philadelphia Union. Maurice Edu. To the back post he goes. It's skipping off the head of Fairharbour. Now Williams. Williams. For some support, but he doesn't need it. Corner now again here for Philadelphia.
You take a look at this ball played over the top by Vincent Nogueira. Contact is made. You see Sessanova keeping him on just by about a half a foot or so, but that's also, Cal, so far the second time Benny has gotten back and saved a cross.
Maidana floated ball to the back post. It's over the head of Shane Williams. Most to the delight of Eric Kronberg and Sporting Kansas City.
Can't help but wonder if there's maybe, if Shane Williams is thinking Andrew Winger's going to get that, if Winger's thinking Shane Williams is going to get that, because really either of them had a pretty decent angle and a pretty decent run, able to get their head on that ball. Sporting Kansas City fortunate that both guys back away.
As mentioned in the pre-game show, Sporting in their last 3 visits at PPL Park in all competitions. They managed 2 league wins here last season. They beat the Union 2-0 in July 2012 in the Lamar US Open Cup semi-final.
Yeah, 3-1 and 2 all time, all competitions. So history's on Sporting Kansas City side, and they don't need the full 3 points because they are in the playoffs, but you want to try to avoid that 4-5. If they can get 3 points here, they're obviously in very good position, pending upon what happens on Sunday against New York and Columbus.
Here's Maurice Edu. Making his 8th MLS appearance this season after coming back from Independiente Santa Fe in Colombia. Maidana going down after a challenge from Colin. The free kick here for Philadelphia Union.
See Colin once again just coming in a little bit late, clipping the left foot, putting him down. Any Fairharbour disagrees?
Naturally.
Well, of course. As we take a look at tonight's matchup, it hasn't been overly physical, but you look 5-1 fouls. Sporting Kansas City. You don't want to say in favor because you don't want to have more fouls, but Marufo's letting him play a little bit. He is calling the ones that are, somewhat obvious, except for the one where probably should have called against Philadelphia on Benny Fairharbour, maybe 5 minutes, something like that.
Over the top here for Dom Dwyer. It required a header from Zach McMath. Sweeper for a moment. Here's Maidana. Carrying the Union forward here. Sesanovic with the challenge required. Nogueira winning it back though. Here's the Frenchman. Brown. Jamaican international. Over the top. And Ellis's body intervening. And Brown, as you can see, on the ground for a second time this evening.
You see as he goes to the ground, slip, trying to trap. Both players going for it. You see Paulo Nagamura. When he goes with that left foot to go for the ball, Brown gets his leg underneath, takes the cleats to the back, takes the studs to the back of the calf. Nothing intentional there from Paulo Nagamura. Incidental, just 2 guys going for the ball. Paulo Nagamura over there when the ball is out of bounds, let him know he's sorry, getting him back up. The guys are ready to go.
Salzizo eager to make an impression this evening. First start since August 23rd. Zizo again. Wenger making a legal challenge according to the referee and the linesman on the far side. Here's Kevin Ellis, who was subject of praise from Peter Vermees during the week. He's saying he's really fitted in well at centre-back and has helped us in all sorts of areas. It's been somewhat of a breakout year for Kevin Ellis, hasn't it?
He's been fantastic. He's played all over the place. He's played outside back. He's played center back. He's played across all competitions, and he's done very, very well, showcasing the depth of this team. I think everyone was a little nervous when you knew Matt Beasley was going to be gone. Then Iko Parra goes down with a season-ending injury. There had to be a little bit of nervousness around the Sporting Kansas City locker room and the Sporting KC fan base. But Kevin Ellis, been playing right back almost his entire career, professional career, comes in at center back and has done an admirable job.
Delivering a lovely ball there for Rigo Julião as well. Now it's Salzizo, low ball played in, and Maurice Edu clears away for the Union. Olam getting involved in midfield. Appealing for a foul, which he gets as well. Now perhaps it's the turn of Sporting KC.
Well, not the exact same in terms of the way it played out with what we saw with Shane Williams and Seth Sinovic here in the Sporting Kansas City half about 6-7 minutes ago. But that's the same type of foul. Lawrence Olam playing the ball over the top. He has him beat. Wenger just grabs him, holds him, impedes his movement. Now Marufo blows the whistle. That's what they want. They want that consistency.
Lovely ball played in from Feilhaber. It's an easy take in the end for Zach McMath, who's full of confidence, it seems. Here's Maidana. Certainly had a flutter or two in the early stages, hasn't he? Okugo. Julião returning the favour. Here's Gaddis. Dwyer, Nagamura making shapes ahead of him. Here's Paulo Nagamura. Dom Dwyer, whose touch rather uncharacteristically lets him down, and Maurice Edu brings it forward here for Philadelphia Union. Edu. Brown is dealt with by Aurelian Collin once again. Boos echoing around PPL Park. Unfaithful wanting a foul. Here's Danny Cruz. Still carrying the ball, and it's another robust challenge from Paulo Nagamura.
Two players that are definitely not going to shy away from contact. Paulo Nagamura obviously feeling that it was a legal challenge, but you see he sticks that right foot in, clipping Danny Cruz. It was shoulder to shoulder up top, but a little bit of a trip there. Danny Cruz and Paulo Nagamura, those are, how many times we're going to see them on the ground tonight?
It's a tussle worth keeping an eye on, isn't it? One of several this evening, as was mentioned throughout the first half. In the meantime, though, Maidana stands over the ball. Lovely floated one in again. It causes Crombo problems. And he goes wide of the left-hand post. And it is a free kick to Sporting Kansas City.
Looked as though Kevin Ellis, when going up to try to defend this one, just kind of gets pulled and turned. Well, from that angle, didn't really seem like it. It's hard to tell exactly what Marufo saw. Looks like it's just a goal kick. Appears to be. Thought he was pointing for a foul. My bad.
Nevertheless, it'll be a decision Sporting Kansas City are delighted with. The Union have shown threat from that sort of opportunity in the first half here. Here's Cruz. Going forward here, interrogating Aurelian Collin, who answers superbly. Julião. Nagamura. Easily dispatched by Maurice Edu. Here's Wenger. And it's a really well-timed challenge from Aurelian Collin. A little bit of showboating as well. Here's Salzizo. Cutting inside here, perhaps a chance for Sporting KC. They remain patient as Lawrence Olan picks it up. He gives it away, and perhaps he's presented the Union with an opportunity. Nogueira. Cutting inside here. Forward for Brown. Maidana in on goal again here. Much tighter angle this time. Ball fired across. Breakthrough. Right on cue on the stroke of half-time. Brian Brown with his second goal in Major League Soccer and his second against Sporting Kansas City.
A great job of hold-up play. As soon as he lays this ball out, checks, and immediately heads to the penalty spot as both Kevin Ellis and Aurelian Collin slide towards the left. He's able to find a little bit of space, cut in front of an out-of-position Sestanovic, who had to retreat all the way back and cover the center of the park for Vincent Nogueira. Good timing for the Philadelphia Union on the counter-attack, able to make Sporting Kansas City pay in just a minute from halftime, Cal. That changes the entire narrative of this matchup heading into the locker room. His second goal against Sporting Kansas City this year.
Getting himself into a spot of bother over on the far side, but eventually it does fall in favour of Philadelphia. We spoke during the pre-game, Jake, about these Union players looking to make an impression. It is safe to say it's somewhat of an audition period, as it was for Chicago Fire last week against Sporting Kansas City. And Brian Brown, who is on loan from Harbour View in the Jamaican Premier League, has suddenly made his case here.
Well, and you can look at it. Excuse me. Look, Aurelian Collin is going down. I heard some shouts.
And stoppage time is brought to you by the Sprint Stoppage Time Sweepstakes. Is there going to be a stoppage time goal here for Sporting Kansas City? Phil Herbert standing over the ball. It's Dom Dwyer. She's been able to control the ball. And there goes the half-time whistle. Relatively entertaining first 45 minutes here. The scoreline favours the home side, Philadelphia Union. Zagler Math and Eric Kronberg have had a trailing by a goal to nil. Courtesy of Brian Brown's second goal of the season in his first MLS start, the Jamaican international. The Sporting Kansas City have up their sleeves. Now, J.K. Andrich, what are you expecting in the second half here?
Well, I'd imagine Peter Vermees telling his players in the locker room to slow the game down, get back to ball circulation and keeping possession of the ball. We've seen throughout the season just how much better of a team they are when they can do that. They started to have a little bit of a feel for it in the first half. Start off bad with the poor giveaway from Kevin Ellis. That's got to be eliminated in this second half.
Here's Danny Cruz on the right-hand side. Ball comes across. It nearly found Brown. To the edge it goes. Williams. Another frantic, energetic start here. Wenger. Defeated through for Gaddis, but it's Igor Julião surveying the scene. And doing ever so well to win the throwing for Sporting Kansas City. Julião. Collin rifling the ball away. Valdez, and a foul in favour of Sporting Kansas City. Let's get on to our Ivy Fun sideline reporter, Carter Augustin. At halftime, you spoke to the coaches.
Yeah, guys, I spoke to assistant coach Kerry Zavagnin, and they weren't at all happy with that giveaway that led to the cheap goal in midfield. A little bit of a note here, KC, of course, that's the 8th goal allowed just before halftime, and Sporting are 1-10 when allowing the first goal, so those aren't very good signs. But Kerry Zavagnin said there are opportunities as long as they can get behind that back line, with who they say are playing a really high line. They haven't tested McMath in the first half, which they're disappointed about.
Carter, thank you very much indeed. And it's interesting, as soon as Carter spoke about that, Sporting did get in behind, Jake.
And you see Moedu doing a good job. Paulo Nagamura's touch a little heavy. Knows if he just gets position, inside positioning on Paulo Nagamura, there's no way he's going to get to that ball. A little bit of contact sent him to the ground, but there's not enough there to give a penalty.
Brown, the goal scorer. Kugo with a commanding header again. Edu. Here's Cruz. Nogueira. Forced wide after the pressure from Dom Dwyer. And Gaddis forced into a poor pass as well. Something we've seen for several years with Sporting KC, Jake. They are consistently pushing on players, aren't they?
Well, the basis of their offense is that high pressure from the defensive side of the ball. Force the turnover, catch them out of position, 3 or 4 quick passes, ball circulation, then the other side of the field is opened up. They've done a decent job of that at times here this evening, but they haven't switched the field maybe enough to catch Philadelphia out of position, allowing their back 5 or their back 4, their 2 defensive midfielders to get back in shape.
Here's Wenger. Maidana, delicate ball over the top, and it's an easy take in the end for Eric Kronberg. Here's Igor Juliao. His 23rd appearance of the season. Tom Dwyer tussling with Edu. Zach McMath launching forward here for Philadelphia Union. You can tell, can't you, Jake Yardage? Aurelian Collin certainly provided some sort of presence here for Sporting Kansas City.
Well, you know, anytime the ball is in the air within, you know, a 10-foot radius of him, he's going to win it more times than not. It's very rare that you see a 50-50 ball go up that he loses. In an instance like this, we're seeing him come back from a 3-week layoff with an ankle injury, and he's still got some good touch about him, and he still looks strong in the air. He's still got a little bit of his finesse, because with Matt Besler gone, he's also in charge of organizing that back line. When Matt Besler's healthy, he's just the crusher back there. Hey, the ball's in the air, Aurelian, go get it. With Matt Besler being gone, he has to take over a leadership role, and he's done both pretty good tonight. You take away that goal, and it's almost the goal in the early yellow card. It's almost a perfect game, but of course you can't take those away, and a yellow card is pretty big, especially early on as he got it. And of course the goal is damning to the match right now.
Shane Williams going away for Philadelphia. Let's find Danny Cruz on the right. Shea from Sard on the far side. Okugo. Here's Wenger. Career high 7 goals for Andrew Wenger this year. Wenger, ball across here. Maidana, Nogueira! He fires wide. What a chance that was for Philadelphia Union.
Vincent Nogueira from a free kick back at Sporting Park a few months ago, almost scored from this exact same position, just not enough curve on it. But Andrew Wenger starts this entire sequence off going one-on-one against Igor Juliao. I'm very surprised in the first half that they did not try to exploit that mismatch more often. That's nothing against Igor Juliao, but you got about four inches of a height difference, probably 20-25 pounds difference. Take on Igor Juliao, and if he tries to go shoulder to shoulder with you, Andrew Wenger's going to pass him, as we saw what happened right there.
Here's Sinovic in advanced territory for the fullback. Get a second stab at it as well. He's charged down by the combination of Williams and Cruz. Maidana keeping the move alive. Williams off to the races here. A chance for Philadelphia Union. And Aurelian Collin with a really good challenge again. That is super defending from the Frenchman. The touch from Williams perhaps gave him a helping hand. Nevertheless, Aurelian Collin really has performed superbly. They do. Nagamura, he's found a gap here. Soony Sard for Sporting Kansas City around the goalkeeper, and it's a penalty. Zach McMath penalised. Sunisad taken down, and Sporting Kansas City have themselves a lifeline.
Cal, you posed a question just a few minutes ago about Sporting Kansas City's high pressure and how much it plays a factor in their game. Perfect example right here. Lawrence Olam pressuring the ball about 40-50 yards away from goal, is able to get it, slide it to Nagamura, and a beautiful pass to Sunisad. We see him take the touch here. Zach McMath does not get the ball, is nowhere near it, clearly taking out the leg of Sunisad, sending him to the ground. I can understand why maybe he's a little upset, because it's not as if he, just crushes Sunisad and sends him to the ground, but he makes that dive for the ball. It's about 2 feet away, and his trailing legs take out Sunisad. I think it's a penalty for Sporting Kansas City.
Sunisad very much playing architect. Don Dwyer here with a chance to make it 22 in 30 MLS starts. PPL Park on its feet. Don Dwyer scores for Sporting Kansas City, who get themselves back into the game. A sight for sore eyes for those in blue. It's the goal that Sporting have been so desperately craving. 1-1.
Don Dwyer's magical season continues. Very well taken penalty. McMath guesses there may be enough pace to even sneak it past him, but as soon as McMath goes to his left, Dwyer's already decided that one. No doubt, no question, Sporting Kansas City early on in this second half, right back in this matchup.
22 goals this season for Don Dwyer in Major League Soccer. Well past Precky's record now, isn't he? We switch from attack to defence for the time being. Andrew Wenger taken down. Peter Vermeer's clearly disagreeing with the officials. Free kick to Philadelphia.
You see Igor Juliao playing the ball up. Andrew Wenger coming in for the challenge. Taking some studs to the
midriff, shall we say.
Midriff. Let's just say, I feel bad for Andrew Wenger right now.
Perhaps our male viewers will also be feeling a little sympathy for Andrew Wenger as well.
No. Feel for any man in that situation.
Maidana, lovely ball in. It's caused a right problem for Sporting Kansas City, and eventually Paulo Nagamura repelling away. Nogueira down the line, able to find Maidana, and it's a throwing here for Sporting KC. Dwyer. Zach McMath. Coming away from Brown. Maidana involved again. Forward here for Nogueira. With the tightest of gaps, he finds Maidana. But Aurelian Collin is there to tidy up for Kansas City.
And once again, Cal, Benny Feilhaber tracking all the way back to the 18 and saving what would have been a scoring opportunity for the Philadelphia Union, putting in a complete performance. Hasn't really done anything to dazzle us on the offensive side this evening, but showing just how valuable he is to this team tonight with his defensive ability.
Here's Saad. The gaps arriving here for Sporting KC. Sunisad for Sal Zizzo. Back for Sunisad here, who drives it! Palmed away superbly by Zach McMath. It was a save that was needed. You feel the intensity rising here at PPL Park as Collin glances away from Wenger. No love lost between these two sides, are there? And what a save this was.
Okay, we talked about it in the first half, and we talked about it a little bit at halftime. Carter talked about it after speaking with Kerry Zavagnin. There's no denying the shot-stopping ability of Zach McMath, as seen right there off the shot from Soony Saad. We said they need to challenge his decision-making, put him in a pressure situation. And Sporting Kansas City did that, and it resulted in the penalty. So Sporting Kansas City right back in this matchup. Keep testing McMath. Keep testing McMath. You see, we saw that perfect angle for the shot from Soony Saad. Philadelphia's defense is right there. That's a really good shot from Soony Saad and a really good save. It's going to be, can you find that one instance to get behind?
Dwyer with a floated ball in. Dwyer of all people heading away. Now it's Andrew Wing who's found a way through. Goodness me, what a rasping drive. He goes wide of Kronberg's left-hand post. Perhaps Sporting Kansas City let off there, Jake.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. He's able to just split between two Sporting Kansas City players.
And now at the other end, there's a chance for Sporting KC. And Maurice Edu to the rescue for Philadelphia Union. And Sporting KC broke away so incisively. Union had some desperate defending to do. Eventually they did it. Kugo. It's Fairharbour. Nagamura ahead of him. Waiting the run of Dom Dwyer. The offside flag has been raised. There's a disagreement between Dom Dwyer and several Philadelphia Union players. Dom Dwyer apologetic to Zach McMath, but in my opinion here, Jake, Dom Dwyer has every right to go for this ball.
No, he does. He doesn't know he's onside, or offside, excuse me. McMath does get there. He takes a swipe, and he's going, the whistle's blown, and you see he turns around and he's going straight to Zach McMath. And then Danny Cruz comes into the picture and just starts barking like a junkyard dog like we expect him to defend his teammates, and it kind of blows up into a situation that really could have been completely avoided as Dom was going to, check on Zach McMath. Zach McMath obviously looks to be healthy. The referee blew the whistle. The situation should be dead, but it's 1-1. You got 30 minutes left. Guys are jawing back and forth. It escalates for just a little bit.
It's not the first time Dom Dwyer's been through this evening, is it? Took several opportunities, albeit from tight angles. Zach McMath this time getting there ahead of him. And Dom Dwyer apologising.
Well, it's as you said, Cal. I mean, the striker's mindset is just go for the ball. Don't wait for the referee to say you're offside. Don't think you're offside. Just continue to go. That maybe wasn't a pure 50-50 ball, maybe a little 60-40 in Zach McMath's favor, but he clips him. And Dom Dwyer knows that. He went to go check on him. Case closed.
Let's go down to our Ivy Fund sideline reporter, Carter Augustin. Apparently Peter Vermeer's not too happy with that.
Yeah, he's not too happy with it. It was a challenge that actually drew Jim Curtin off his bench for the first time all game, but Peter Vermeer's calling over the fourth official to complain about just thinking the game's getting out of control. He doesn't want any of his players hurt going into the playoffs.
Carter, thank you. It's Fairharbour. Able to squeeze the ball through the gap that was there. And now it's Maidana forward. Christian Maidana. Patient pass here for Brown. Eventually the combination of Ellis and Collin dealing with the Jamaican international.
And once again, Cal, just a bad giveaway, and one that could have easily been avoided. Philadelphia straight on the break.
Appeals for handball there from Sal Zizzo, and the linesman or referee took any notice. Wenger inside for Maidana. Evading the challenges of Olam and Collin. Okugo, lovely ball over to the far side. Cruz. Inside now for Philadelphia here. Brown. And eventually the offside flag does come up on the far side. It'll be a free kick to Sporting Kansas City and perhaps a chance to catch their breath here. Main Street Minute brought to you by Main Street Credit Union. For more than 60 years providing financial services to people just like you. Find out more at mainstreetcu.org. Zizo.
That looked definitely to take a deflection off Andrew Wenger. Seemed fairly clear. Take a look at the whistle right there on Sal Zizo. Maybe a little bit more frustration more than anything. Definitely looked like he had won a throw in for Sporting Kansas City. Ball comes in, takes a little bit of a swipe to get it.
Well, fans, with that second half goal, you win. Text BWWSKC to 72727 to receive an instant coupon from Buffalo Wild Wings. When SKC score, you score.
Wings all around.
I'll certainly be taking advantage.
You like the, you're the teriyaki, no Buffalo. Honey barbecue.
In the meantime, a bit of afters between several Sporting KC and Philadelphia players. Bit of amaze, clearly agitated.
Well, you just heard Peter Vermeer's reasoning and why he's upset. That's saying that's the third time that Marufo's had to have at least a couple words with Raymond Gaddis. He feels there should be a yellow card in the future.
Here's Dwyer. Okugo. Valdez tidying up. Izana has been a constant thorn for the Union here this evening. A foul now for the Union, who get themselves underway quickly. Okugo is taken down by Benny Feilhaber. And a free kick to the home side. And again, the Union get themselves underway quickly. It was Benny Feilhaber with the push.
We talked about frustration possibly from Sal Zizo a few moments ago. Definitely appeared to look that way from Benny Feilhaber. It definitely looked like they had a case. Maurice Edu had a handful of Sal Zizo's jersey, prevented him from going to get the ball. Instead, the whistle was blown on Sal Zizo, and was able to see, looked immediately down to Peter Vermees, and he looked straight over at the fourth official, Jose Carlos Rivero, asking him what kind of call is that, and he kind of shook his head as if to say, yeah, he should have called that one. That's on him.
Gonzalez. Here's Gaddis. Awkward clearance. Actually, it is cleared away by him. Nagamura. Space here for Eagles Juliao. First time ball across. Glanced away by Shane Williams. Now it's Feilhaber again. The intensity rising here. Sinovic forced to go back for the time being. We are hearing that Zizo will be coming off and Jacob Peterson will be coming on for Sporting KC. Coming forward, they do repelling. Here's Andrew Wenger. And then Colin, Julia obliging. Julia forward. Sinovic battling with Danny Cruz on the far side. Here's Nagamura. Lovely build-up play here from Kansas City. It's Paulo Nagamura searching for a gap of some sort. Feilhaber. Zizo allowing it to run through. Here goes Juliao. Zizo again here. Floated ball to the back post. And it's Zach McMath with a towering claim for Philadelphia.
But good stuff from Sporting, showing a lot of composure, a lot of patience in the final third. Could have been very easy to just try to throw a cross up there as soon as the ball gets in the final third, or someone trying to take a ill-advised shot from distance. Playing the ball around, some great short passing, some good one-touch passing, eventually leading to a cross. Unfortunately, Zach McMath there come off his line, able to grab that one down.
Ball over the top, which causes Edu a problem. As we dealt with though. Here's Ellis. Lawrence Olam. Sporting more than happy just to keep possession in the moment. Their time in finding a way through. There's going to be activity on the Union bench as well. Ribeiro, the man coming in. Descrição down on the far side, which may force Peter Valise to perhaps make a substitution he didn't want to. In the meantime, though, US Bank substitution, US Bank, all of us serving you. Pedro Ribeiro, the man is coming on. Ryan Brown, his evening comes to an end. He's the man who's got the Union the goal. Ribeiro, the man coming on. His 8th appearance of the season. He finished his collegiate career with 31 goals and 26 assists at Coastal Carolina. Drafted as 15th overall this year. The Union trading up to get him away from Toronto FC, who had eyes on him. Another outlook here for Philadelphia Union, Jake.
No, he's a big kid coming in. He's listed as 6'4", 208 pounds. Significant upgrade size-wise from what Brown brings to the game. So I think that Jim Curtin saw that physicality-wise, there was no way Brown was going to be able to compete with Aurelian Collin. Now you bring on a guy like Ribeiro, who is that banger, much like when we see when Connor Casey's in the game for the Philadelphia Union. Starting to get a little bit more time as the season progresses, and has already put together one goal this season.
You've seen the US Bank substitution. Peterson on, Zizo out. Let's go down to our Ivy Fun sideline reporter, Carter Augustine.
Yeah, Cal and Jake, a little bit of an interesting note on how Peter Vermes trusts Jake Peterson. Assistant coaches were trying to get Vermes' attention to perhaps give Peterson a little bit of instruction, and he just turns around and says he knows what to do.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Carter.
True.
Peterson, the player to give as much effort as he has. Who's played a left back against Chicago Fire, now very much in a natural position out wide in that front three. Here he is, dancing it on. He needs to find Maurice Edu. Ribeiro, his first touch of the evening. Here's Wenger. Able to find the ball on the far side, but the Union regain possession. Okugo. Lovely ball forward. Maidana across. It's Pedro Ribeiro! An instant impact from the substitute. Philadelphia Union regain the lead here.
We just talked about the type of impact that this youngster could have. A great job of bringing that ball down. That cross, not too far inside the 18, is hit very far in front of him, is able to stick that big left foot out and bring it down. A nice solid one-touch finish, but once again, Cal, that ball played too quick, catching Sporting Kansas City in a bad position. Ribeiro has nothing but time and space. Time to bring that ball down, pick a slot. Eric Kronberg tries to get out there, doesn't have enough time. Sporting Kansas City defense really got to tighten up in these past 20 minutes.
And perhaps there's more for Philadelphia as well. Here's Cruz. Low ball in. It's Ribeiro again. Prodded away by Olam and cleared away by Setsanovic. The Union with bags full of energy here. Here's Jacob Peterson. Just unable to find a gap of any sort. And when Brian Brown came on for the Union at Sporting Park just a few months ago as a substitute, he scored almost straight away. Ribeiro having the exact same effect, and Maidana now getting involved as well. Maidana away from Ellis, and it's a last-ditch desperate challenge from Kevin Ellis. corner ball back in here for Philadelphia. Before the corner is taken, we're going to have a second Union substitution. US Bank all about serving you. It's the end of the evening for Vasa Noguera, and Brian Carroll comes on here for the Union for his 321st MLS career appearance in his 12th year in Major League Soccer. A player who's certainly brought in to see out the game here for the Union. Medana, free header for Ribeiro. It's a big boy, isn't he?
Well, one thing to keep an eye on, at least from the set piece defense standpoint from Sporting Kansas City, with the Ribeiro substitution, Aurelian Collin has switched over to cover him on corners and set pieces. Setsanovic has now shifted to Mo Edu, so I would imagine they're going to be looking for Mo Edu going forward in set pieces.
Free kick this time to Sporting Kansas City. They're still not taken down. An instant response would put Sporting KC in dreamland, at least for the time being. Olam. The ball away, and Carroll with his first interaction. He gives it away. Over on that far side is Suni Saad. Ball played in. Valdez there to make the clearance required. Now Feilhaber. Saad with space to shoot here. It's just ahead of Paulo Nagamura. Olam spraying it here for Igor Julião. Just trickling out of play in favour of Philadelphia Union. Well, Jake, with 15 minutes remaining here at PPL Park, if you are Peter Vermees, what are the instructions to those on the field?
I don't know if there's necessarily instructions to the players on the field right now. I'm starting to wonder if maybe it's Grant Zusi time. You're down by 1 goal. 3 points would have been great, but I think you need to at least get a point out of this matchup. I'm not saying you're out of the danger zone, but 1 point would at least make it a little more comfortable with 1 game left in the season, depending upon what New York and Columbus do here tomorrow. 15 minutes, Graham Zusi can change this game in just a matter of moments. We take a look at him there warming up, and almost immediately as I say that, looks Jimmy Medranda making his way over to the bench. A little bit more of creative flair for this team out there. That type of guy who can get in tight spaces, hopefully open up this Philadelphia defense.
Here's Carroll over to Andrew Wenger. Andrew Wenger twisting and turning. Low drive comes in. Ribeiro was an inch or 2 away from making it 3.
Almost doing what he did on the goal. His goal earlier on was able to outstretch, able to just get 1 touch on the ball and set himself up. In that instance, if he just gets that initial touch on it, it's probably 3-1 in favor of the Union. The youngster, very impressive so far, Cal.
Jürgen Peterson. Colin choosing to go back to Kronberg. Touch from Igor Julião, and the Union back in possession. Andrew Wenger. Nice recovery from Igor Julião, but the Union still have the ball. Play stopped because there's a substitution here. Sporting Kansas City, US Bank all about serving you. Suni Saad coming off. Jimmy Medranda coming on for Sporting Kansas City, the young Colombian. What are we expecting from him in these final stages, Jake?
Well, as we touched about this a moments ago, a lot of creative ability from Jimmy Medranda. Philly's defense has just been on point so far tonight, save for the penalty. And he's that type of player who can make that pass a la Benny Feilhaber in tight space. Very good with the ball at his feet, can take on, have two guys around him in a situation and work his way out and hopefully find a teammate.
Here's Aris. Madranda, his first interaction of the evening. His fifth appearance of the season, Madranda. Somewhat of an opportunity here. Dennis unable to get the ball away in 2 attempts. Peterson. Play for Igor Julião. Colin surveying the scene. Here's Setsanovic. Ball to the back post, looking for Dom Dwyer. Bounces away and skips away from him, and Madranda. The chance dies down for Sporting KC. And you can see the frustration on Dom Dwyer and Setsanovic's faces.
Had 10 minutes in this matchup, and the frustration's got to be there because they actually were able to create some space. Both of them at that far post. Unfortunately, the cross not able to stay in bounds, sending it right back to the Union.
The Union finishing their season at Columbus Crew next Sunday. Sporting KC host New York Red Bulls. Biggest of games in the Eastern Conference. Strong challenge from Danny Cruz, too strong according to the linesman. Ellis and Cruz clearly having a disagreement with each other.
That's what Danny Cruz does. As much like we see with Paulo Nagamura, those guys are going to go after the ball. There's going to be a lot of physicality when he's out there on the field. But that's what you know you're going to get. It's not a surprise when that happens. He's a gritty player. He's not a dirty player.
Certainly with a reputation throughout his career in Major League Soccer with the likes of DC United and Houston Dynamo as well. Here's Colin. Deflection falls kindly for Philadelphia. Mizana. Just unable to find a Kugo. Madranda takes full advantage. Now it's Igor Julião forward here for Dom Dwyer. Maurice do with a towering header. Feilhaber ushering off the challenge of Brian Carroll. Jimmy Madranda. It's too eager from Madranda. And perhaps now the Union have themselves an opportunity. Cruz. Brian Carroll. As the options make their way in. Carroll just unable to feed it through the legs of Colin. And now it's Nagamura's turn. Just unable to get away from Edu. Challenge from Edu may have clipped on Dwyer as well. And there's a throw on that far side to Philadelphia Union. The Union with a 5-3-8 record at home. It's the second fewest home wins in Major League Soccer. We're hearing Antonio Del Valle will be coming in for Sporting KC. Ball thread through. Andrew Wenger here. A stern save from Eric Kronberg. A save that was very much needed. And Price up a fresh save from Kronberg.
Yeah. Once again, Cal, you see all the space that Wenger has to work with. I mean, just look at that side of the field. He has. Who knows how? I don't know math, so I don't know how many square yards that was, but I'll tell you what, it was a lot.
Ribeiro twisting and turning on the edge, falling for Jacob Peterson. Setsanovic. 8 minutes plus added time remaining here at PPL Park. Is there a response for Sporting KC? We're hearing that Diwali will be coming in for Dom Dwyer, who seems to be struggling somewhat with a calf injury after the Maurice Edu challenge. Also hearing they're going to be sliding Jacob Peterson up top. Here's Dwyer. Harbour.
Yeah, Dom moving with a pretty considerable limp out there on the field, but still trying to get that, trying to get that last second goal if he can.
Here's Olam. Juliao. Here's Nagamura. Again, the Union clearing away. That's a late challenge from Lawrence Olam. He offers the apologetic right hand. Doing no good. It's a subway yellow card for Lawrence Olam.
Yeah, you see there, no question. And Olam knows it as soon as he goes to the ground and clips him. He knows it's a yellow.
On screen we have the US Bank substitution. US Bank all about serving you. Dwyer off and Diwali on. Let's get down to our Ivy Fun sideline reporter Carter Augustine. What can you tell us?
Yeah, guys, Dom Dwyer holding his calf. Kind of looked like maybe a bit of the cramps. And early on in this second half, around the 55th minute or so, he came over to the sideline with trainer Kenny Ishii, was stretching his calves out and had one of those Gatorade chews to take on during the game. So I think it's been bothering him all day today.
Interestingly enough, Diwali coming on for Sporting Kansas City. And now, as we were saying a little earlier on, Jacob Peterson will be the man up top now for Sporting Kansas City. Very workman's-like ethic from him.
Well, that's one of the things you got to hope for in this instance. Sporting Kansas City, a lot of fresh bodies. They're going to be working in the Philadelphia Union half. We've already seen the subs from the subs for the Philadelphia Union have been the striker up top and Carroll in the middle. A lot of fresh bodies in that, hopefully in that Philadelphia Union defensive half that could take advantage of possibly some tired legs. The field conditions aren't very great out there right now. Maybe you get catch some of those guys out of position. They can work in Sporting Kansas City's favor.
Kevin Ellis, the real thrust of pace to deny Ribeiro any sort of room. Here's Colin. Juliao. Due away from Jacob Peterson. Ellis. Awaiting movements of some sort. He'll find it in Diwali. Here's the Spaniard once again. Over the top, asking a question or two of the Union backline. Dealt with though by Zach McMath. The aerial spinning away from Kevin Ellis. Carroll providing pressure as well, but Sporting get away with it. Madran, the lovely ball forward to the outside of the foot. Wenger. Nidana. Wenger. The ball slipped through, but Setsanovic read it all the way. Duvali. Kansas City remaining patient here, waiting for their opportunity, which may just come here. It's Jacob Peterson here. Peterson, level played in, and Paolo Nagamura firing over the bar. A really good opportunity for Sporting KC.
Jacob Peterson peeling that run off, and a great through ball from Tony Duvali. Jacob Peterson with the defender on his shoulder just does what he can to get anything on that ball across the 6. Paolo Nagamura make that darting run to the near post. Tons of pressure on the back, just has to touch it to redirect it. Too high over the net count. We talked about fresh legs. Jacob Peterson showing right there, taking advantage, splitting those center backs, and just coming across the face of Mo Edu, making that run into the 18, getting on the end of that pass from Duvali. They gotta do that again.
That would have been something for Paolo Nagamura. His 200th career start in Major League Soccer. Would have really been the icing on the cake for him personally, anyway. In the meantime, though, more defensive work to do for Sporting KC, trailing by 2-1 at PPL Park. Carlos Valdez taking his time here. I imagine that man would be the initial target, Ribeiro. And now a silver yellow card is given to Carlos Valdez. What you can only imagine to be time wasting. Here's Maidana. Last touch coming off of the Union midfielder. They do with the ball forward. Stoppage time is brought to you by the Sprint Stoppage Time Sweepstakes, and we're going to have 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes for Sporting KC to get something. Here's Madranda. Igor Julião over on the far side. He takes a tumble. Now it's Jacob Peterson. And the last touch coming off of Madranda. There's a right old scramble over on the far side. But eventually it's a throw to Kansas City. And the bodies will come forward here.
This will be the first opportunity all game long for Sporting Kansas City to take this long throw in. You mentioned a scramble, Cal. Ball just kind of bouncing around inside the 18. Ends up in Sporting KC's favor.
Long throw in, and Simon Bath reading it all the way. Long punt forward from the Union goalkeeper. Ribeiro proving a pest here for Sporting. Duvali. Hear the cries from Peter Vermees. Forward, he's saying. Duvali skipping away from Cruz. A real surge of energy here from Sporting KC. Peterson desperately trying to keep the move alive. And Carlos Valdez is there for Philadelphia Union. And now it's Maidana. Cruz. All substitute activities for the Union. Yes, bank substitution, all of us serving you. Maidana off. And Jim McLaughlin coming on. His first appearance of the season, his only MLS career appearance, came actually at Sporting Park back in October of 2012. And on loan at the Harrisburg City Islanders in the USL Pro. And now come on for these final few minutes for Philadelphia Union. And what about the performance from him as well this evening, Jake Yardage? Christian Maidana, he's really had a good game this evening.
I think he's been fantastic. I really do. And we saw him struggle very early on in the season. First couple months just looked like it was almost going to be a failed experiment. But he put together a very, very strong run of games in the summer. Then suffered a really bad hamstring injury, missed a couple months, but he's come back. He's got a feel for Philadelphia, their system, the league, and it's proven to be a great acquisition.
Is there one final thrust forward for Sporting KC? McLaughlin on the far side. There's a real sense of urgency at PPL Park. The fans are on their feet. McLaughlin able to find a Kugo.
Yeah, that long ball over the top to Tony Davale. It was there, just missed it.
William Collin now playing on that front line. Here's Davale. Decent ball played in, looking for Collin. The offside flag has been raised here. And the chance will die down for Sporting Kansas City. Zach McMahon will take all the time in the world to take this. It's all over. The Union win their final regular season home game of the season. And it's another sting in the tail for Sporting Kansas City. Final score here from PPL Park. Philadelphia Union 2, Sporting KC 1. And Jake Yardage, the winning goal coming from Pedro Ribeiro.
I think there's got to be frustration for Sporting Kansas City. Really needed a result in this game to improve their